An art exhibition, now open in the Mad River Valley, promises to take visitors to 0 Celsius. With art from national and local artists, both contemporary and classical, with an eye toward community, conservation, and stewardship of the natural world. Good afternoon, and thank you for stopping by Across the Fence. I'm Keith Silva, in for Amy Finley. I want to start today with a question. Picture Vermont. What images come to mind? Are you thinking of hills and valleys dotted with red barns and grazing animals? Maybe you're thinking of a forest covered in snow. Vermont has always attracted artists, and today we're focusing on one small section, the Mad River Valley, composed of Warren and Waitsfield and Fayston, but let's not forget Duxbury and Moortown. This area is an attraction for skiers and riders, but also painters and photographers as well. Joining me to talk Mad River Arts is Sam Talbot-Kelly, Executive Director and Curator of Mad River Valley Arts, or Mad Arts, as we'll learn. She's also an artist herself. Welcome, Sam. Thanks for coming on Across the Fence.
Thanks for having me.
So let's talk about Mad River Arts. What is it?
We're a rural nonprofit organization. We showcase contemporary art. And we showcase national, established, regional artists, local artists to our visitors who come to us and also to our communities.
And you've got a gallery in Waitsfield, correct?
Yep.
That's
Yes.
the headquarters.
Yes.
That's the headquarters.
Yeah.
So you're thinking of changing the name a little bit to Mad Arts. Love a rebrand. Tell me about that.
It's just a mouthful, Mad River Valley Arts. It's to really take us into this realm of the contemporary. Mm-hmm. And so by that, it's a shift, it's an evolution of what it was prior to me coming on board. And that's really to showcase more cutting edge practices, what we call interdisciplinary arts, where our artists are featuring their work that crosses boundaries between nature and culture and technology. So we're really trying to embrace those three disciplines and methods and ways of seeing, and see that come through in the art we share.
I'm a simple man. Mad Arts is just a lot more fun to say.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you've got a current exhibition, 0 Celsius. Sounds like a theme. Tell us about it.
Yes, it's really showcasing winter experience, whether from a perspective of wonder or silence or even climate change. So many of our artists, again, in their methods of practicing, will share the kinds of experiences it involves, enduring a winter season. And so ideally, visitors come, and it's an individual experience when you're looking at landscapes, whether they're abstract or photographic, or whether it's a cultural experience. Art has this capacity to connect all of us, and that's really our mission, is to contribute this cultural experience in the Mad River Valley, because it's known for recreation.
Yep, there we go, Jinx. So inspiration, a big part of this, and seeing what inspired the artists, what made them sort of think about it. When we were putting this program together, I saw these photos on your website, which we'll give the folks at the end of the program. Sophia Jaramillo. These are very striking photographs. Tell us a little bit about Sophia.
She's a Colombian-American photographer. She practices in the documentary genre. In this series called A New Winter, she really takes a challenging look at the Eurocentricity around winter sports and culture. And she approaches that Eurocentricity in a more inclusive way. So she takes vintage photographs and inserts a more diverse perspective of peoples, because it's so that we can all belong to this recreational industry. So she, in a wonderful way, really captures, shifts the perspective to be much more inclusive, and so that we can, all of us can engage.
And they're fun. I mean, the images that she has are just, you look at them and they're just joyful images. We talked a little bit about interdisciplinary so far. For those of us that didn't go to art school, what is the art school definition of that interdisciplinary?
Interdisciplinary really is this fusion or combination of two or more disciplines, methods, systems, philosophies, ways of working. And our artists typically do that. It's a little bit more experimental. It challenges traditional forms of making. And it also springs a kind of innovative perspective and looking at the world differently.
Sort of like what Sophia did by putting people of color in settings that were normally where we would see,
Yes, and her work is really ethically charged, and so that's a value that needs to be shared.
Another artist that's featured in your show, another internationally known artist, is Brad Johnson. Much different from Sophia's work. Let's take a look at what Brad is bringing. So what are we seeing here? Is this interdisciplinary idea?
Yes. So this is a fusion of a technique called photogrammetry, which takes 3D measurements, spatial data, and from two-dimensional photographs. So he's known for his digital environments, and the landscape is really his material. So in our exhibition, even though it's not technically an immersive experience, it does feel immersive. You don't have the haptic feedback interaction going on, but you move through these different worlds of ice caves, glacier formation and snow-capped mountains, and you're sucked into these worlds, and it's a moving experience, and you end up feeling this interiority of or being encased in a volume of this massive earth structure, right?
Is this video? Is Brad's work video? Are you looking at a screen?
Yeah, they're visualizations. They're video. They're projections that are constantly moving. Yeah.
Okay, and that series is called Terra
Montana.
Okay. As I mentioned in my introduction, the Mad River Valley is a hot spot for outdoor recreation, hiking, biking, and etc. What are you trying to do to capture that community level? Used a great word when we were talking before, scenius, rhymes with genius.
Yeah, scenius is awesome. It's really this concept that Brian Eno coined, and I've been thinking about it a lot because as we move and travel through different towns, it's a different vibe, right? We get this different vibe. So, the Mad River Valley is a different vibe. It's a very creative environment, and also it's obviously known for its recreational industry. And so this idea of scenius really tries to capture the creative intelligence of a community. And there's so many creatives in the valley, and I really want to harness that energy. I think when it's not about the genius, a single genius thriving in a community, it's really seeing this interdependence among all of us. That we all have something to give and share and collaborate. So it's what innovations can a community do to bring about change, belonging, and value.
There was another international artist I didn't want to skip, Rob Reynolds, filmmaker, right?
Yes.
And so so film is a part of this. Rob works with glaciers and in the Antarctic, is that right?
Yeah, so again, filmmaking is interdisciplinary. It features, sound and editing and cinematography. So he journeyed up in 2019 up to the Arctic Greenland and spoke with indigenous peoples up there, along with his crew, and really got a sense of, his work revolves around a sense of being, ecological perspective, and also climate. And it's this film really journeys through a kind of silence and an elemental feel of, this dynamic of icebergs melting.
Right.
So it's beautiful and sad at the same time. So it's really meditative, and that hopefully is an individual meditation and a cultural meditation.
We don't want to leave out, there are Vermont artists. You said the valley's full of artists, and you have some local artists. We're going to start with Dominique. And
Somebody
what is this
question?
piece here?
This is called Spring's Return. It's encaustic, so that's a practice that involves a couple of different methods of heating with wax and paint.
Interesting.
This is a figurative work, and I wanted to feature some of our figurative pieces.
Julie, next.
Julie Parker.
Julie Parker.
This is called Polarized Ice, and it's ice. She's taking but it's using polarized light, which captures light using wavelengths that are in one direction. And so it's a kind of filter, and it offers this crystalline kind of perspective of
Ice.
frozen.
Frozen.
Yeah.
John Anderson is next.
Yep, he's a former architect, a draftsman in many ways, and this is a mixed media piece called Antarctica. And he shares this kind of map-like structure, this aerial view using mixed media materials. And
our next artist?
Tom Latham. Tom Latham is a watercolorist. He's from Montpelier. Here we see the first rope tow in Vermont.
Oh.
And what I love about his work is that the snow here becomes a shape, right? It's not in the background. It's very much, it has material. It has weight here on top of that truck.
And our last local artist?
Janet Van Fleet. She's the founder of Studio Place Arts. And this piece is called Winter. She really assembles from all kinds of recycled materials. And here it's almost like she breaks down, not so much of snowflake structure, but we see, rather than a blanket of snow, we engage in independent kinds of ways of looking at snow.
Oh, those are beautiful. Thank you very much for sharing. And where can people go see the show, and how can they see it?
So Mad Arts is located in Waitsfield. It's right between Mad River Valley TV and the Tempest Bookstore.
Okay.
It's in the Huron Village there, 50131 Main Street, Unit 2.
And when are you open?
We are open Wednesdays to Saturdays, 1 to 5, and on Tuesdays by appointment.
Okay, and just go to the website,
madrivervalleyarts.org.
madrivervalleyarts.org. Well, Sam, thank you so much. I really appreciate talking to you and telling our folks about this great show.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us.
My thanks to the team behind the scenes here at WCX, who always turn what I'm doing on camera into art. I'm Keith Silva. This is Across the Fence. Thanks for being part of our family.